You're watching Business Access TV.
Business Access.
Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious
about business.
Serious about business.
BATV is here to bring you the highlights from the 5th Annual Joan Duncan Memorial Lecture, where DK Duncan will be delivering the keynote address on political leadership, an enabler or disabler to Jamaica's economic growth. I'm Javon Keys and I'll be your host. Stay with us, much more after this.
The Joan Duncan School of Entrepreneurship, Ethics and Leadership, JD SEAL, evolved out of a need for the University of Technology, Jamaica, as an academic institution to rise to the national challenge of addressing the endemic problem of unemployment by providing specific training to persons, particularly our youths, interested in starting their own businesses. It has been recognized the world over that developing the tools of entrepreneurship is one important way of promoting individuals to become their own sources of employment, given that established corporate entities are contracting in the economy. In other words, entrepreneurship is now a most invaluable tool in the arsenal of a country's strategy for national development. The government of Jamaica, through its 2030 vision document, highlights the importance of entrepreneurship in economic development, and the MSME and Entrepreneurship Policy document of the Ministry of Industry, Commerce, Agriculture and Fisheries states as follows, and I quote, "The MSME and Entrepreneurship Policy seeks to offer a comprehensive, targeted and coherent framework that will create a highly entrepreneurial sector that is characterized by innovative and competitive businesses that are supported by a rewarding institutional and regulatory environment. The achievement of the policy goals and objectives will therefore necessitate a partnership between key stakeholders within the public and private sectors and by associations representing the MSMEs." End of quote. In this regard then, the University of Technology, Jamaica, insightfully tagged the People's University, and I know DK would like that, is playing its part by being the first institution of its kind offering a specialized degree in entrepreneurship and also hosting under its umbrella a highly touted business incubator system. Under our business incubator called the Technology Innovation Center, the TIC, we have had clients winning numerous local and international awards, with two, Tyrone Wilson and Gordon Swaby, receiving the prestigious 50 Under 50 Award for Excellence in Youth Entrepreneurship by the Government of Jamaica in 2012. Then again, there's also Mrs. Valerie Grant, another client of the incubator here on the campus of UTech. She's Managing Director of Geotech Vision Enterprises, and she had also won several prizes, including the Commonwealth Woman Entrepreneur of the Year Award, the NCB National Builders Award in the category Women in Business, and the Business Excellence Forum of the Americas Award for Female Entrepreneur of the Year in 2015. And these are just some of the awards that have been given to clients of the incubator, which is part of the Joan Duncan School of Entrepreneurship, Ethics and Leadership. In the latest report from the Global Entrepreneurship Monitor, GEM, it was shown that 85% of working-age Jamaicans agreed with the statement that most people in the country consider starting a business as a desirable career choice. Entrepreneurship as a career path is highly recognized and applauded in this country. Indeed, much status is accorded to successful Jamaican entrepreneurs, as according to the same GEM report, 85% in the category 18 to 64 age group also supported the statement that in this country, successful entrepreneurs receive high status. Incidentally, this GEM report, which is an international research tool, is produced right here in JD SEAL under the College of Business and Management by our lecturers, all done for the nation of Jamaica. It is therefore most fitting, ladies and gentlemen, that as I welcome you to this signal event, the Joan Duncan Memorial Lecture, that I inform you of this important role being played by the school, which is fostering growth and entrepreneurial development in Jamaica. And it is also therefore with a deep sense of honor and humility that I have the distinct pleasure of bringing you greetings and welcoming you to this 5th lecture series. This is the 5th annual Joan Duncan Memorial Lecture, and it is in aid of recognizing the benefactor for the school, who is Joan Duncan, and it recognizes the contributions that persons have made in the field of entrepreneurship, as well as in the area of ethics and leadership, because that's the name of the school, Entrepreneurship, Ethics and Leadership. So each year we decide to concentrate on different aspects of that subject. One year we'll do entrepreneurship, another year we will do ethics, and another year leadership. This year we're looking at the area of leadership, as I said, as part of the tripartite aspect of the school, and leadership in particular related to politics, so political leadership, and how that has affected the growth and development of our country. And of course we have the icon, Dr. D.K. Duncan, who is a stalwart in the area, who is going to dissect this subject. And of course we have a set of panelists, very qualified panelists, looking at various aspects of leadership. And that's going to be interesting. The Joan Duncan School of Entrepreneurship, Ethics and Leadership is the first of its kind in the English-speaking Caribbean, offering a BSc degree in entrepreneurship. And that's an achievement in itself. In addition, the school and indeed the university is the first of its kind too to have as part and parcel of its portfolio an incubator, a business incubator. So you'll find in the Joan Duncan School of Entrepreneurship the Technology Innovation Center, which is well known throughout Jamaica as one of the incubators, one of the first incubators in Jamaica. And so we have clients within the incubator who are there to network, to be mentored in terms of developing their businesses, and students interact with these live clients, these live entrepreneurs, and at the same time learn from them. And that in itself is a tremendous experience. So that is the basis in terms of the school. Each student, when they come to do the degree, unlike the other conventional students within the university, they have to come with a business idea. So the entire 4 years of development is surrounded a business idea that they may have, and then they look at the various aspects of developing that idea, including the business model, canvas, including looking at accounting for your business, finance, marketing, sales, and so on, all surrounding the business. So at the end of the period of when they're about to graduate, they should be ready to start a business.
They've asked me to talk on a question that people ask me every day, do politicians really believe polls, and are polls authentic? And I have a very easy answer to both of them, which I will share in the gathering. But yeah, I've been in polling for over 30 years, and I've survived political polling because politicians believe in what they hear, They don't always use it the way they should, and some of them fall awry as a result. But generally, I believe that politicians do place a lot of reliance on polls and actually use it for all kinds of strategies.
We go to a break. Stay with us. Much more after this.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, delighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art, I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
Without a customer, we're nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. Woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Let's join our presenter on stage.
The manifesto of one party was a little more bread, a little more butter. And of the other was self-government and education. Anecdotally, it is said that the answer to the larger vision of self-government and education, the answer was that education can eat. Huh? And I don't know if we see, I'll only ask the question, if we see any manifestations of that kind of political behavior in our society at this time. It might have been a necessary thing to deal with the immediate needs of people. But in the end, without vision, the people perish. So a lot of things added up in the early years and the origins of political tribalism, and it developed through the years, the 40s, the 50s, into the 60s. It carried with it not only the distribution of housing in a partisan way, political violence, unions against unions, then later on political parties against political parties on election day in particular, then it spread. It spread. All of that came about under the leadership of political leadership at the time. So we can clearly say that from time to time, the political leadership in Jamaica has enabled actions which could lay the basis for retarding growth. Because if you're going to divert your workers from the kind of behavior that is necessary for increased productivity, obviously that's a part of the whole growth matrix. Recently, last week, Peter Bunting made his presentation in Parliament, and he asked the question, why is growth important? He didn't answer it himself, except by saying yes, but he quoted from an author who said, people at this point in time in world history, people are demanding their governments do more to impose their life, to improve their lives faster, something which policymakers are unable to deliver under conditions of anemic growth. Rising income inequality and a stagnant economy are threats to both the developed and the developed world, and leaders can no longer afford to ignore this gathering storm. But we have had this kind of situation in Jamaica for some 40 years or more, anemic growth. What is, I think, encouraging at this point is that there seems to be a convergence between the two political parties on some fundamentals in relation to macroeconomic stability, which I understand is necessary, if not necessarily sufficient, for growth to occur at some time. This has not been so for many, many years. began in earnest just a few years ago with Peter Phillips and what they call the Economic Reform Program, which the people of Jamaica saw as the austerity program, and voted them out, and has been continued by the present administration with the mantra of hoping for prosperity. Now, Dr. Nigel Clark, in a speech at the Jamaica Pegasus last Thursday, indicated the areas of macroeconomic indicators, etc., that are not only being followed now, but were initiated in a very substantive and substantial way in the last few years. But at the end of it, he says, economic growth, however, has lagged. In the discourse and the dialogue that has taken place in the last budget debate and in the recent week or two, there has been, what has been missing from it is the approach which has over the past years been seen to be blaming either Peter or Paul. Right? So that to me represents an advance in the way that the political leadership is handling our economy. In some of the ways over the past, in particular after political independence, that governments have tried to answer the question of speaking to the demands of the masses of the Jamaican people, whether it is 1838, whether it is 1938, whether it is now, right? Was to try to, when we got into office, either administration, was to try to coax the bureaucracy into implementing what the policies of the various administrations are. In the 60s, we had a plethora, if you remember, of institutions called statutory boards. That was a response by the political leadership to the demands of the people for improvement in their lives, because the bureaucracy that we had inherited from the British was stodgy and didn't move very well. That was followed by things called executive agencies. Politicians themselves, the leaders, some of us even went overboard with the appointments of aides, whether special assistants, personal assistants, all kinds of assistants, to try to ameliorate the policy delivery, the program delivery process. But those have ended up in a public sector which now is in need of, and has been in need of reform for donkey's years. I could go on and on to give examples of how our political leadership, in attempting to address the needs of the people. I don't, from my own experience interfacing with politicians, I don't accept that the vast majority of us intend to go in there and get rich quickly. I have dealt with many politicians, and they have most of them that I know have gone into this thing with a good heart.
We take our final break, but don't go anywhere. We have more highlights for you after this.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show, and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357 or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Thanks for staying with us, and if you're just tuning in, we're here at the 5th Annual Joan Duncan Memorial Lecture with DK Duncan. Now for more highlights.
I know that the topic for this afternoon, political leadership, an enabler or disabler to Jamaica's economic growth. When I look at the history of Jamaica, going back, I think, before independence, and you look at the various periods of times, the different parties that have come in and out to help to manage and guide this country. If we take independence until now, pretty much, I think you could say the two major parties have been at the wicket almost, don't hold me to it, but almost equal. Almost. And I think when parties go into power, they tend not to want to continue things that the other side started. And so you get a lot of energy being spent reversing things, trying to put something new in place. And it's time, energy, it's money that's lost, that's just gone. Whether it could be something simple as repainting a school because they didn't like the color that it was painted, and I've seen examples of this in my growing up days. It's only recently, I think, that we have come to appreciate the power of, I should say, good policy continuity. And we've just seen that demonstrated most recently with the most recent IMF agreement, the most recent program. We didn't spend time saying we're going to try to renegotiate the program.
I believe that the most essential resource for development in any nation, any country, is a God-fearing, well-rounded citizenry whose basic physical needs are adequately met, their communities governed daily by sustainable values, and a well-educated populace, while the national affairs are managed by God-fearing leaders of impeccable integrity and moral rectitude, totally committed to human flourishing and the common good. Any form of leadership which is not guided and undergirded by the Judeo-Christian values under God will inevitably be a disabler to sustainable economic growth. As I listened to the presenter, I noticed that some of the challenges that he highlighted could be better handled and balanced by persons who are consistently submitting to the values of God, guided by the Spirit of God. I believe that a major question leaders in the political arena, and all leaders, but particularly in the political arena, since we're focusing on that this evening, is that once ask the question and grapple with who is your ultimate authority. Am I ultimately accountable to God or to the party, my political party, or the various stakeholders who got me into office? To whom am I ultimately accountable? And once we have a clear understanding of that, then it would better enable us to make the right decisions which will redound to the best interest and welfare of the constituents. Political leadership has both enabled and disabled economic growth at different points in our history, as some of them were highlighted. And I believe that where there is creative tension among three pillars: relationship with God, relationship with the citizens, quality relationship with the citizens, and also quality relationship with the private sector, donor agency, and external governments, all this undergirded by the Judeo-Christian values and principles, then we will see political leadership being an enabler rather than a disabler.
My personal big takeaway from this discussion today is around the values, that we must have politics that are based on values. And that leads us to, once you create that value set that you live inside of, that last statement by Dr. Duncan, then gives you what is your own social consciousness that you live in, which then gives you that ideology. How do we articulate that ideology so that we can have a shared value set, a shared belief system, a shared system of belief in how our society should evolve, that would cause us to be empowered to get that kind of inclusive growth, is a question I think we are left here to answer. Because we have not, over the years, we have kind of lost that, and we've become very transactional in the politics, really actually broken down to the point where as we say in Jamaica, we buy votes. That has to stop, so that instead of buying votes, people vote because they have true hope, not hope in jingling, not hope in growth as a thing in and of itself, but growth with a basis of creating the kind of society that we want, creating the value set that we want.
That brings us to the end of our coverage of the 5th Annual Joan Duncan Memorial Lecture. Until next time, I'm Javon Keys. Stay tuned to Business Access TV. Serious about business.
It was Benjamin Disraeli who posited, "The youth of a nation are the trustees of prosperity." Very profound, not true? And whether or not you know who Benjamin Disraeli was, we can all certainly agree with this sentiment. That being said, it's the last Saturday of Youth Month, and we continue to encourage our nation's trustees to level up and be the best versions of themselves. Hi, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your Jamaica Magazine.
So many times we sit and we talk and we say, hey, I would love for Jamaica to be this kind of place. But what are you really doing? What type of Jamaica do you want to see?
We're hoping to use art to teach Jamaica that it's not the thunder that grows the flower, it's the gentle rain. We want Jamaica to stop thundering for everything and start to put forth gentle rain, especially in the lives of our youth.
This gentle rain is the Acts of Random Kindness initiative being put forward by the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the JCF, a program that inspires and encourages expressions of kindness.
Our project comes out of our youth empowerment and mentorship program, where we're teaching our youngsters to know themselves, to know their purpose, to understand that it is important to cultivate attitudes of kindness, gratitude, and respect, as well as to put themselves on a good destiny, a life path.
The Youth Empowerment and Mentorship Program uses the iPad Summer Camp to teach resilience and social skills to children from at-risk communities.
If we can show you an act of kindness when you were young, if you were to reciprocate this act of kindness to somebody else, what a wonderful Jamaica this could be.
We saw a youth leader in the camp who decided to take responsibility for the lack of a belt on one of his team's part, and said, you know what, you have my belt and I will then take the responsibility for the consequences. It's like an evolution and a revolution all at once, because they made revolutionary changes to their behaviors as opposed to when they just came on day one, day two, and you could start to see them evolving into being kind and gentler youth.
Action means identity, purpose, attitude, and destiny. So with the attitude, you have, I will show respect, kindness, and gratitude. It's important because most youths are growing up in very disturbing societies where a level of kindness and love isn't shown. So the camp actually gives us that love that is missing from our lives and help us to reflect this on others as well.
We want our youth to do tangible acts of random kindness, to be kindness ambassadors in their schools and communities. This will in turn raise the awareness in adults that they too should be agents of change.
We are challenging Jamaica to engage in a very self-conscious way in acts of random kindness amongst adults and towards our children. We want you to think kind, Jamaica. We want you to act kind. We want you to be kind.
I am ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. You have to have kindness in your heart. You have to be compassionate towards people. Some persons really need it. A little act of kindness sometimes motivates somebody else.
So we want our youngsters at school, at home, and at play to think kind, act kind, and be kind. It is a message that needs to be self-conscious.
We are inviting you, youth, adults, business places, to take up your link in the chain and bring this initiative to life. Respond with smiles, hugs, positive affirmations, and acts of kindness to transform relationships in homes, schools, the workplace. Transform relationships right across Jamaica.
If we want a kinder, gentler Jamaica, where all of us want to live, work, and raise families, it is important that each and every one of us start to think about the words that we speak to our children. Start with a kind word. Start by giving a smile and saying good day. Start by saying thank you. start by giving a hug. Where you can, be a mentor. Just listen to their concern. Show that you have some degree of understanding and empathy.
Be conscious, be aware. The cost to being kind is a state of mind.
$650 students, $100 million. How are they connected? Through the Hospitality and Tourism Management Program offered at 32 high schools across the island. It's a 2-year program to equip future tourism workers with the requisite skills to meet the demands of the growing global industry. Graduates will be certified by the American Hotel and Lodging Educational Institute and received an associate degree from a local college. We're building a resilient tourism industry through human capital development.
Hi there, I'm Simone Wolf with your JIS News of the Week. The Planning Institute of Jamaica is reporting that the economy grew by an estimated 1.9% during the July to September quarter of this year.
This follows a real GDP growth of 2.2% recorded in the previous quarter, associated with and is indicative of the continued strengthening in the pace of economic growth for the fiscal year within the 1.5% to 2.5% range.
Meanwhile, Bank of Jamaica Governor Brian Winter says the country's inflation rate is back on target after falling below the 4 to 6% projection between March and August this year.
12-month inflation at October 2018, as reported by Statin, was 4.7%, higher than the 2.8% recorded at the end of the June quarter.
Finance Minister Dr. Nigel Clarke says government plans to raise the pension fund's investment limits to allow for putting funds into startup companies and small businesses.
When we move the limit from 0 to 5%, based on the $550 billion in pension funds, over $25 billion of capital will be available for investing in venture capital. That is a game changer, and it's a game changer for innovation, for opportunity, and for growth.
Spanish hoteliers and investors have recommitted to buying more local goods and services following a meeting with Ministry of Tourism officials on Friday. Government officials highlighted the use of the Tourism Agri-Linkages Exchange ALIX app as a means of ensuring demands in agricultural produce are met, and the tourism minister assured the investors that some adjustments were coming to lower tourism costs. 19 farmers from the New Forest Duff House Agri-Park have received Global GAP certification to export various crops to international markets.
You have done well. Your training will undoubtedly redound to increased earnings as you produce for the local market, our neighbors in CARICOM, and the wider international markets.
Government will be accelerating its zinc fence removal program and regularizing more communities to support social stability.
I'm looking forward to the support that I will get from the Ministry of Finance in this effort. But we're going to replace the zinc fences with modest levels of walls. I see this effort as a crime-fighting effort, because once you improve the environment in which people have to live, they adopt an entirely different approach.
Cabinet has approved a number of contracts for sport and housing development, including $71.5 million to replace the synthetic Stadium East running track at the National Stadium, and 2 contracts for civil infrastructure works at the NHT's Friendship Housing Development in St. Elizabeth.
Also, the Integrated Infrastructure Project, Canaan Heights, Clarendon, Cabinet approved the award of contract to Alcar Construction and Haulage Limited for the execution of rehabilitative works.
Over 700 ultrasound examinations have been conducted at the St. Anne's Bay Regional Hospital since the August installation of an $8.2 million state-of-the-art ultrasound machine.
This is not an insignificant event from our perspective. This is not an insignificant or just a small incremental addition to our offering. This is substantial.
A national committee has been formed to review test items for the Primary Exit Profile PEP assessment. Setting up the committee is one of the measures implemented by the Education Ministry to modify the assessment following the mock performance task component of PEP in June.
As you would expect, Mr. Speaker, the first year of any form of change may have teething pains, but we're working them through.
The performance task examination has been rescheduled to March 27 and 28 of next year, while the ability test is planned for February and the curriculum-based test for April. And finally, a closed-circuit television CCTV camera system has been installed at the Hanover Infirmary to ensure the safety of staff and residents and prevent unwanted persons from entering the compound.
We also put it in so that we can monitor those who work in our infirmaries, because there's no hiding that some of who have been employed to administer care in our infirmaries should never be in the infirmaries because they abuse the residents. And somebody have to keep an eye.
And those were some of the stories making news this week. I'm Simone Wolf.
As a Jamaican doing business with any revenue collection agency, did you know that you can appeal a tax assessment done by that agency? This is facilitated through the Revenue Appeals Division of the Ministry of Finance and Public Service. Here is what you need to know about that process of appeal.
Welcome to Finance Matters, a production of the Ministry of Finance and the Public Service. I'm your host, Daniel Pasley, and today we'll be focusing on the process, or shall I say the appeals process, within the Revenue Appeals Division. And today I have with me a very special guest, Commissioner of the Revenue Appeals Division, Dr. Delary Staple Chambers. Thank you so much for coming back on our program.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
So, Commissioner, tell us, what does the process entail?
All right. So, once you have made an appeal, the first thing we do at RAD is to assess to profile the matter, to assess the complexity of it. So if we deem from the initial outset that the matter is a simple matter, then we funnel it to the fast track or the tier 1 process, where in the law it is described as an informal hearing, meaning that we don't need you to come in and to give evidence orally and be questioned, but we will accept your written submission and the evidence that you have presented on paper. And if we need any clarification, then we may call you and have discussions over the phone. So it's pretty informal. And those tend to be turned around in a very short space of time. Once the matter is a little bit more complex, right, and may involve parties such as an attorney or legal firm, then we may deem it to be one that must be heard using the formal process. And if that is the case, we will invite you to a hearing. Now, the hearing date has to be negotiated between the parties, meaning that the revenue authority, as well as the taxpayer, has to agree to the date. It has to be amenable to both sides. And once we have an agreement and we schedule a hearing, then both parties are expected to be in attendance. For that formal process, you are required to make oral submissions as well as written and produce evidence and documents.
Are there a certain number of submissions that you need to
No, when I say
give?
submission, I mean you make out your case.
Right.
So you would indicate what is wrong with the assessment, where you think the commissioner erred, what your evidence, your books and your records are saying. And the other side, which is the revenue authorities, they get the chance to do the same thing. The taxpayer also get to question the representative of the revenue authority and vice versa. So it's almost like we are in the middle mediating, right, and both parties are able to put their cards on the table. Our role is to be the finder of fact. So we hear both sides, we consider all the evidence, and we make a decision on the side of the facts and the law. Once the formal hearing is over, right, then we will determine at that point whether we need additional evidence based on what was submitted in the hearing. And if that is required, we will give you time to submit such evidence. And then we will review all the evidence that we have gathered, and we will indicate when we are ready to make a decision. The law mandate that once we have indicated that we are ready to rule, that decision should be handed down in 60 days.
Wow.
So we have 60 days to prepare the written decision and to dispatch same to the parties. So that's the formal process. But there's also another mechanism that is provided by the legislation where the case for both parties is not very strong. And so we may have to ask both parties to negotiate a settlement. What the negotiation of settlement does is allow the parties to go off and have discussions together.
Okay.
And then they may come to a common agreement to say, okay, we have agreed that this is the amount that is to be paid. All the decisions that we make at the RAD is based on the facts presented by both parties and the law stipulated in the principal legislation, depending on the tax type that is appealed.
And you know, I am so excited to hear about the achievements of the RAD, but we have to do that in our next episode. So thank you once again, Commissioner, for coming on our program.
You're welcome.
So on behalf of the hardworking production team, I'm Daniel Pasley, and I'll see you for another episode of Finance Matters next time. Have a great day.
What is the National Identification System? The new National ID will for the first time give Jamaicans one ID that is trusted and verifiable. This means easier access to government services like PATH and NIS. It will be easier to do business with the government and the private sector. Eventually, there'll be no need to walk with more than one ID. Support the new National ID. Get the facts at nidsfacts.com or on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at nidsfacts.
Part of empowering the youth is providing them with the tools to succeed in life. For example, a tool that links those looking for work with prospective employers in their field. Take a look.
Since 2001, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security's Labour Market Information System, LMIS, has provided a cost-effective way for employers to source and find suitable employees, as well as for job seekers to find employment. The LMIS has three components: the Labour Market Intelligence, LMI, the Skills Bank, and the Electronic Labour Exchange, ELE. These three components are interwoven to equip job seekers and employers to meet the demand of the labour market. The Labour Market Intelligence Department, LMI, collects labour market information and uses this information to determine trends and factors which influence the market. The department spearheaded the National Labour Market Survey 2017, which was tabled in Parliament by Honourable Minister Shahini Robinson. The survey identified 6 key findings.
1. Less than 1% of the workers in the participating firms were foreigners. 2. 80% of firms found it difficult to fill vacancies in their organizations. 3. Most firms were optimistic about their business prospects. 4. The hotel and restaurant services had the greatest opportunity for growth in the labor market. 5. Demand will be greatest for skilled workers in production and services with 72%. And 6. 10% of the firms employed persons with disabilities.
The survey is beneficial to policymakers, curriculum developers, students, job seekers, and employers who can use the information to assess imbalances in the labor market. Labor market intelligence is also utilized to better position the LMIS to meet the needs of clients. The Electronic Labor Exchange ELE is the core component of the LMIS. It's a critical tool for linking job seekers with employers where the in-office services are enhanced by an online portal.
Persons can go and register on or offline. They can create their resume and post their qualifications. And we match those skill sets with jobs that are already posted by employers.
What we do is to do preparatory work in terms of getting individuals ready for the world of work. And these are done through our employability skills sessions. And these are done effectively to allow for the individual person to be ready to go into an organization and display the relevant soft skills that we want in order to have productivity.
It showed me that it doesn't matter what happened in the office or what is going to happen where you go. There's always help and strength there. You should just take the good from it and leave the bad where it is. Without the program, I would not have never gotten that training.
Since its launch, the LMIS website has attracted more than 14,000 job seekers and over 1,000 employers, earning their trust and becoming a national employment portal.
We have been partnering with the Ministry of Labour to have interns coming in and joining our team for 3-month periods. What they have been able to do is to come in and to create a steady pipeline for us of talent that we have been able to infuse into the workspace and to be able to fill our entry-level roles. The experience has been a good one for us. We've been able to find talent that we can transition into the organization, and most of them are still with us and doing very well.
I am very grateful for the program. When I left high school, I was in and out of jobs, and thanks to the ELE program, I'm here at the COK Sodality. I've been to 3 departments thus far, and I must say it has been a very good experience.
The LMIS is committed to serving Jamaica's labor force and has been building sustainable partnerships to enrich and increase access to the service.
The latest of which has been through the New Employment Opportunities Project, which the executing body is youth. And what that does is to allow for our individuals who are conducting our employability skills sessions to be trained in global standards as to how to do it. It also facilitates a development of a mobile app that would allow for individuals to be able to access our web portal.
In seeking to cement the public-private partnership, we have signed a memorandum of understanding with the Jamaica Library Service, with the Manchester Chamber of Commerce, and we intend to do that island-wide.
Through this MOU, job seekers are able to use both facilities to access the services of the ELE portal, effectively allowing the LMIS increased penetration across the island. To improve human capital and labor market outcomes for the poor, the ministry has partnered with the Inter-American Development Bank, IDB, to develop and implement an on-the-job pilot for 1,500 PATH program beneficiaries.
Through the Electronic Labor Exchange, we are targeting persons from these households between the ages of 17 to 25 for job placement. Now, before we place them in jobs, we want them to be able to function effectively in the labor market. We want them to be able to retain those jobs. And it is through retaining those jobs that we will truly break the intergenerational cycle of poverty.
The LMIS is grooming and empowering Jamaicans to achieve their fullest potential by utilizing labor market information, promoting the services of the ELE, and strengthening labor market opportunities through partnerships. The Labor Market Information System, providing easier access to employment opportunities.
Do not leave valuables such as gifts, laptops, and cell phones in plain view in your car. If you have to leave these items in the vehicle, put them in the trunk. This will decrease the likelihood of a car break-in.
Kingston and St. Andrews Homecoming Week closes with a boat festival on Sunday, November 25. The event, to be held on the Kingston waterfront, will showcase sail and powerboats from some of Jamaica's leading marine organizations. Come have fun at the Kiddies Village, classic car show, food and craft villages, as well as the concert. The event starts at noon. For more information, contact 876-926-5726 or 876-897-5204. From November 24 to December 1, the Bursars Association of Jamaica celebrates Bursars Week 2018 under the theme People, Purpose and Passion, the Pathway to Success. The week's events include the annual general meeting on Wednesday, November 28 and the annual conference on Thursday, November 29 to Saturday, December 1 at the Grand Palladium Resorts and Spa in Hanover. November 30 is the deadline for entries to the JCDC's 2018-2019 dance competition. Entry forms and the rules and guidelines are available on the website www.jcdc.gov.jm. You can also visit the JCDC's head office at 325 Phoenix Avenue, Kingston 10, or any of the parish offices island-wide for additional information. So what are you waiting for? Dance your way to the finals in 2019. Do you have something to share on our notice board? Give us a call at 876-922-8690 or email cthomas@jis.gov.jm or kferguson@jis.gov.jm.
You can't believe that the soup nearly never met the menu? Look on that Bex with me today. And without any further delays, that's how we add that little dash of flavor. Tell me, you never miss it, or did you? All right, let's be fair. Here it is. The word is Bex. Bex is our colloquial expression to its English equivalent, vex, which means to hold malice. See, I came through on the soup. Can't Bex with me again? We close this chapter of Jamaica Magazine, but don't worry, we'll pick up a new one tomorrow. As always, we invite you to visit our website to view this and other programs. So that's jis.gov.jm. Also find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. On behalf of the entire team here at the JIS, I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.
Caring Hands Season 3 continues to effect change in a changing environment.
Many of us were raised by grandmothers, right? So, I mean, we know the wisdom that these people have.
Going beyond business.
The little leaders of today are our leaders of tomorrow. And with the proper education, we'll have very good leadership coming from that.
That's Season 3 of Caring Hands, creating change and shaping lives, every Sunday at 5:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access. Business Access. Business Access.
Business Access.
You are watching Business Access TV.
Business Access TV.
Serious about business.
Serious about business.
After quite an exciting and exhilarating warm-up, it's time for the start of the Guardian Group Keep It Alive 5K 2018. Last year in Montego Bay, it was just about 4,000 people who decided to run, walk, or wheel. This year, they almost doubled that number with 7,000, just about 7,000 participants this year. So we're here at the starting lineup, and Business Access TV will bring you highlights from all the sponsors, all the booth holders, and lots of action from the podium, from the start line to the finish line, right now on Business Access TV, serious about business.
We strive to make life better for our people, and as we strive to raise funds for our respective medical institution, I say to you here this evening that you are here for the right cause. And to hear that we have moved from 4,000 last year to over 7,000 this year, you must give yourself a big round of applause. So I say to you this evening, I know this evening will be a very good evening for all of us. And Montego Bay, we are enjoying a level of peace and stability and love. So I'm saying to you here this evening, enjoy yourself, enjoy the race. Guardian Life, you are doing an extremely good job for the health sector, not only in Montego Bay, but across Jamaica. So once again, one love, everything best for Montego Bay. Thank you.
Wheelchair, on your mark.
When you talk about being fit for business, Eric Hussein takes it to another level. And he is the president, of course, of the Guardian Group. Now, Mr. Hussein, first and foremost, congratulations on another successful execution in Montego Bay, and congratulations on finishing this evening as a runner.
Oh, well, we want to say thanks to everyone. It was fantastic here. Last year we had over 4,000, and it was declared the largest run outside of Kingston. And this year we have approximately 7,000. That's just amazing, the growth rate. So really, Kingston, look out, Moby, and I tell you, the vibes down here is just great. A great run, great event, you know, just really thankful. It's a worthy cause. Cornwall Regional, big new in the news. St. Anne's Bay Hospital, University Hospital of the West Indies, who were the original co-conceptualizers, and then Mandeville Hospital. You know, the equipment is just greatly needed, and we, private sector as well as individuals, really need to play a part, and that's what we're trying to do here.
Yeah. Now, you spoke about the almost 4,000 last year, and you almost doubled that this year. What do you think is responsible for that almost 100% growth?
Boy, I tell you, we have a fantastic team of persons working to make this event a success. And I think the people have caught on to the vibes and realized that this is really a great way to give back, give back, because the lives we save, maybe just our lives. The equipment that we buy, we all 100% of the income goes to the hospitals. Also to charities run by Kiwanis, Rotary, several other clubs. So it's not just the hospitals, several clubs with their charities are also benefiting. And I think people are buying in more and more to the fact that, hey, this is a great way to keep your body alive as well as to save lives.
Marsha, first and foremost, congratulations on getting past the finish line. Describe the challenge tonight for you.
I wouldn't say it was challenging. I'm so overwhelmed for entering because it's for a worthy cause. Corner Regional really needs the help. And I'm representing Team NCB for Guardian 5K run.
So you finished within the top 100. Are you a competitive runner generally?
Not really, but I do run in the evenings and exercise a lot.
High voltage, high voltage, high voltage, high voltage, watch wire, watch wire, watch wire, watch wire, watch wire, watch wire, high voltage, high voltage, high voltage, high voltage, wire.
How are you tonight?
I'm fine. It's a wonderful night.
Yes, indeed it is. You almost doubled the number of participants over last year.
Absolutely. It's really awesome.
Describe for us the marketing campaign on the ground, mobilizing the teams, the different corporate entities, the private individuals. What was that process like?
Well, of course, as you can imagine, it's a lot of work to do. I mean, in terms of marketing, we use a lot of social media. We reach out a lot to the people on the ground because, Montego Bay is its own city and it requires its own individual attention. And so that is how we get a lot of the word. And of course, word of mouth, the ads on radio in particular. So all of those things just help to make the turnout so wonderful.
Of course, you did make mention of having to collaborate with a variety of entities, the police, the municipality. How different is that in Montego Bay versus Kingston, or is it different?
It's really not that much different. I mean, obviously we need all the stakeholders on site to make this event safe and wonderful, and that's what we have been able to achieve tonight.
Describe the contribution made by NYS by Heart to the Guardian Group's Keep It Alive 5K in Montego Bay.
Well, first of all, we are all about volunteerism, and this is just another chance for us to volunteer. We were approached by Guardian, and of course we had to say yes to such an initiative. We know how important it is, and of course we have our volunteers who are always ready, willing to go, and this is just a great initiative. We have contributed volunteers in the Montego Bay leg as well as the Kingston leg, and we have been having a wonderful time contributing. And of course, this is a part of the new Learn, Earn, Give and Save initiative under the Prime Minister's HOPE initiative, and we've been just having a wonderful time. And of course our participants, they are learning, and of course they're volunteering, giving, saving.
Now, what's the big benefit to the participants, as in the volunteers, and what's the big benefit to Heart?
Well, I think the biggest benefit is to be able to teach our young people to volunteer, how important it is. The volunteers, they benefit from being a part of these events. They contribute volunteer hours. Some of them are a part of different programs in Heart Trust and in NYS. So this is just a great way for them to contribute. They get to network. Trust me, they're having a great time and they're learning skills as they go along.
Anthony, clearly this is not your first time participating in this kind of activity. Describe the run for yourself tonight.
Well, last time was a better time, I clocked in 27th minute. Last time was 19.7, which I planned not to give it to my hall this time. But anyway, it was a good run, and right now I feel like I have more energy to run again.
You should probably head on to Kingston and participate in some of those runs there.
Just because I work. Yeah. If it was in Montego Bay, maybe I'll give it an next try.
What's your word of encouragement to your friends, your colleagues here in Montego Bay and across Jamaica as it relates to participating in activities like these for a worthy cause?
Well, it's best to do that, because we have a lot of need the help. So while we do it, it's just for the needy and the help of all the citizens of Jamaica.
Dr. Graham, you ran tonight. Yes. Did you time yourself?
I actually did not, because it was about keeping people alive, and so my effort is to keep them alive, not to keep me alive, although it's doing my body well.
Right.
But I figure I'm somewhere about a half an hour. It was a zigzag race and a lot of people, and of course, it's not about competing, it's about finishing.
Good. Now, it's really good that you've participated. Do you encourage the rest of the UDC team? How many are there others from your UDC team who are here tonight? What's that number looking like?
Yeah, we have about a dozen people. Our Mobay office is not that big, our Western region. We decided to participate in the Western race this year as opposed to the usual Kingston race because Mobay is our second city, and we also have a lot of projects down here in Mobay. The beachfront park and the beaches that are being redeveloped. And of course, we wanted to show Jamaica that we believe in what the run is about and also that there's community participation. So we drove down and we joined the Mobay team that is here and we're having a great time.
Business current affairs you can relate to. Frank, credible discussion. On point with Kalila Reynolds and Dennis Chung. Dissecting the issues, offering solutions to Jamaica's challenges. On Point, Thursdays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Grown from 20 million US to now having 800 million US dollars.
Knowledge, skill, and professionalism. Those are my tools and my armor.
It's a big men don't cry, right? It's a big men don't cry, right?
We were being robbed some $531,000.
I've been angry to the point where I feel like I would kill people.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357, or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV, serious about business.
With us now, we have a group of friends from Montego Bay. We've got Shanakay, Shanice, Shanoy, and Joy. And they all ran tonight in different sections. So let's hear a little bit from them. All right, let's start with you, Shanoy. Why did you choose to run tonight?
For the exercise, the fitness. So I'm giving the body shape. Summer is up.
Yes.
So I'm giving the body shape.
Oh, so you're sculpting yourself for the summer?
Exactly.
Today is June 2. The summer has already begun.
Exactly.
Are you ready for the summer?
Almost.
Almost. All right. Shanakay, is your motivation similar to that of Shanoy?
Same, and also for the fun and the pictures.
For the fun and the?
Pictures.
The fun and the pictures. Where can we find your pictures?
On Facebook, Shanakay Brown, Instagram, Sugar Pretty Natural, and that's practically it.
And now you're on Business Access TV. Let's talk with, this is Joy, right? Oh, Shanice, my apologies. Shanice, so some are running for the fitness, some are running for, obviously, the likes. Are you doing it for the love?
Both? Well, as my friend said, we are doing it for the fitness of the body, the fun, the enjoyment, and the vibes, and also for the support.
Joy, now, I don't hear anybody mention the fact that participating goes towards the Cornwall Regional Hospital. Is that where your motivation lies?
Charity. For charity and also to keep my body in shape.
Do you normally participate?
Summer body as well.
Do you normally participate in activities such as this?
Yes, this is my second year. I also did the UTech race. That wasn't me. Yeah, I did the UTech race. So this is my second year in the Guardian Life.
All right, great. Again, it's always wonderful when you can have a group of friends participating for a worthy cause and so many other areas of motivation. It's all about the Guardian Group Keep It Alive 5K in Montego Bay 2018. Among the beneficiaries of the Guardian Group Keep It Alive 5K is the Cornwall Regional Hospital. And with me now I've got Ms. Gillian Legister, and she's the Director of Nursing Services. And we also have the Senior Medical Officer, Dr. Derek Harvey. Let's start with you, Dr. Harvey. Almost 7,000 participants, a target of about 22 million, of which the hospital will get a share to improve conditions. We know the circumstances facing the workers and the overall condition of the hospital. But just speak to us a little bit about how much this means to you and the hospital.
Well, each year we we are beneficiaries of what goes on here. Last year we managed to get an operating theatre table. We got some pediatric equipment, which is very necessary. I understand the problems which Cornwall has, but we live with the hope that we will get back to normal. What happens, we have a pre-selected list of vital equipment, and events such as these go a far way in helping the patients who we look after and also improving the services.
Now, Ms. Legister, Director of Nursing Services, we know the hours that you put in, the conditions in which you work under. Just describe for us some of the benefits and what you're looking forward to most following this run.
Okay, certainly the benefits that we look forward to certainly includes the provision of vital equipment for patient care, such as incubators and monitors for our patients. And these are well-needed equipment that we need for everyday patient care.
Dr. Harvey, your word of encouragement to corporate entities in the Western region and for other just private individuals to participate in events such as these.
We are quite encouraged by what we see. Certainly corporate entities coming on board not only improve the healthcare at Cornwall, but health in general. We are inviting everyone to come on board. Health is a national issue. There are various aspects to health, as you know, being promoted by the ministry. Certainly events such as these go a far way. The more persons, the better. It shows community spirit. Certainly gathering persons here is not only to do with the donation of equipment, but something like this, as somebody said, is a social event. It highlights what is going on. It's one of those areas which persons look forward to on an annual basis, coming out to support, knowing fully well that they're supporting events such as a hospital and other things.
With us now is Mr. Steve Hemmings, and he is a member of the Montego Bay community who has benefited significantly from the work delivered at the Cornwall Regional Hospital. Now, Mr. Hemmings, you participated tonight, you walked tonight. Just describe the reasons behind your participation.
Oh, why I do this, you know, if I'm in the hospital, Cornwall Regional Hospital, 3 times, I'm a patient there. I was a patient there. I do 2 surgeries up there. So that's why I do it to help the hospital. My first year this in this one. I do other one, but my first year this. I enjoy this 500%.
What did you enjoy most about participating tonight?
The walking.
Yes.
I walk. I know I walk so far for this long time. I walk, you know. Yes. I used to work at Freeport Police Station, but I retire now. But I walk. I couldn't be some walk and reach back at finishing line.
Given the amount of walking, the distance you walk tonight, will that encourage you to walk even more on a regular basis at this kind of pace?
Okay, this is the walk that I do tonight, you know. Very important because I have blood pressure.
Okay.
Yeah, but I don't feel it.
Yeah.
Before I start, I don't feel it, and before I done, I don't feel it. And I used to feel it when I used to walk. Then I walk on this to this and I feel my head start at me. So that's why I benefit this, and I can't wait till next year.
With us now is one of the patrons of the Guardian Group Keep It Alive 5K, Dr. Sarah Lawrence. Sarah, another wonderful staging.
Full of vibes and
energy. I am so happy.
So, almost 4,000 people last year, just shy of 7,000 this year. What do you think kind of drove that massive increase?
Oh my God, I don't know what it is, but I thank God. But actually, I really feel like, you know, the Guardian Group just keeps mobilizing and getting bigger and better and getting it out there that this run, this effort is something that can affect every single Jamaican. Because unfortunately, at some time, we all have to interface with the hospital, and it's a system that's lacking. And they have just been committed to fortifying our hospitals with equipment, and I mean, it just warms my heart because I get to see it on both sides, you know? Yeah.
So, and let's talk a little bit about that, because you work in the healthcare system and you see the challenges on a day-to-day basis. Please, direct an appeal to private citizens, to corporate entities, to really deliver where we need it most.
Absolutely, because you know, it's very rarely we'll have, you know, some people think if something happens, them go fly out. That's not the reality. The reality is that when something happens, the time is a very time-sensitive thing. So if you come to the university hospital or any of the hospitals in the area and you don't have a simple thing like a blood pressure monitor or the CT scan is down or something like that, it's really something that can be very detrimental. But you know, the Guardian Group saw the need and they are committed. But enough more needs to be done. So it's something that is ongoing, and we are always welcoming contributions because our healthcare system is in dire need.
We're taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world. Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene. Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad. Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show, and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
With us now is Mr. Leo Garrell, and he is the CEO of the St. Anne's Bay Hospital. Mr. Garrell, tonight must mean a lot to you because it's the second leg of the Guardian Group Keep It Alive 5K, and the hospital is a beneficiary.
Yes, it is. It is a special time for us, always. Well, this is what, the 4th year? Yes, it's always special for us.
So, the big focus recently in the news would have been the Cornwall Regional Hospital and all the troubles there. They still remain open, they still remain functional. Could you share with us some of the unique challenges being faced at the St. Anne's Bay Hospital?
Well, part of the challenge is the fact that Cornwall has challenges because we refer patients to Cornwall. We are a type B hospital, meaning that we don't offer all the services that our patients need. So we refer to Cornwall, which is a type A hospital. Now when they have problems, then I have problems. That means I can't transfer some of my patients there. So I now have to find other places, maybe like KPH or UE to help me. So yes, they have problems, I have problems too. And part of those, well, we have, most of us have the same problems. We have transportation problems, sometimes equipment problems, but it's part for the course, yes.
So Guardian has galvanized support across the island in this fashion, Kingston and Montego Bay. But being in St. Anne's Bay, along the north coast, of course, which is let us call it the tourism belt of the island, are you getting support from tourist-related entities, hotels and other types of institutions? Describe that for us.
Yes, all right. So you have the Jamaica Hotel and Tourist Association, the Runaway Bay Ocean chapter. We are actually a part of that group. And so they do a lot of things for us. Every Labor Day they come in and they do some works in the hospital. But throughout the year, they also do other things for us. So we are fully involved with them. They have sort of adopted us, you know, which are very happy. And we work with them. They try to help us meet our needs so that, because they themselves benefit from it, you know. They're going to send the tourists to us. So they want to make sure that our facility is up to standard. So when the tourists come, they can be well taken care of.
Second place male,
this. 15 minutes. 24 seconds. Only by seconds. Put your hands together for the man I call GG. Garfield Gordon. In third place. Female. It goes to none other than Juliet Reeves. Congratulations to Juliet Reeves. 36 minutes, 39 seconds. Second place. Legionnaire Wallace. And the winner. 5K walk in 35 minutes, 51 seconds. It goes to Georgiana Fenton. Congratulations. Second place, 26 minutes flat. Do well, Alan, who keeps on doing well. Third place male. Get ready, Kelsa. 26 minutes. Walk we're talking about, you know. 26 seconds. We're looking for Anthony Burrows. And the winner, who walked 25 minutes, 33 seconds. Andre Smith. On a clock, Andre Smith, please.
Congratulations, Garfield. How was the run for you today?
Well, it was a challenging run for me with my teammate, Ocean Archibald. Yeah, but I put in all the work from a couple months ago, so I know I'm in a good shape to win.
Is this your first time running in Montego Bay?
No, my second time.
How did you do on your previous run?
Well, my last one was 15-19 in Kingston. And it was a great one, but this one was more challenging.
What's the big challenge about this one when you compare it to Kingston?
Well, my teammate, as I said, Ocean Archibald, yeah, he gave me a good challenge.
So of course you run for fitness, but also you're contributing to a worthy cause. What do you have to say to other Jamaicans who want to run competitively or just want to run for the cause?
Well, it's a great experience, both run for the cause and run competitively.
How are you feeling about your second place finish?
Yeah, I feel good. Last year come second same way. I feel good, extremely good.
So you're consistent. You second last year, second this year. Are you going to up it and finish first next year?
Yeah, I'll do that, yes.
With us now is the third place male finisher, Ocean Archibald of GC Foster. Congratulations on the third place. How was the race for you?
It was a good run still, but they leave me at the 4K and I couldn't make it over because it seemed like I still don't recover from the Trinidad and Tobago race. Different environment, but I'm working on my recovery rate, so I guess at the next race I can get back my first place.
Right, because you would have lost to, I think, Garfield Gordon. Is it always stiff competition between you two?
Yes, sir, but I'm the 2018 champion through the early season till now. So when I come second last week and third, I have to still be grateful because it could be even worse.
Great. Well, congratulations again. Thank you for your time. With us now is Mr. Andrew East, who participated wheeling tonight in the Guardian Group Keep It Alive 5K. Describe your participation tonight. How was it for you?
Well, for the first time, I was trying to see how well I would do. So it was a bit difficult, especially going up the hill, but it was fun. I mean, coming back down was not so bad. So, you know, I was trying to pace myself to see where I would, so if I would do it again. But, so yeah, I'll do it again.
Well, that's good to hear. So I want to ask though, what inspired you to try this time?
Just something new. Just wanted to do something to challenge yourself. After being a disabled person for this time, 18 years, I always need something new to inspire you to keep going and moving forward, you know? So this was one of those things.
I'm happy to hear you say that you will be participating again. Have you identified the next event that you will be in?
Not yet. Just waiting to see and check the listing and see what comes up.
They ran, they walked, they wheeled. Almost 7,000 participants in the Guardian Group Keep It Alive 5K in Montego Bay. It has been a pleasure delivering this event to you on Business Access TV. Serious about business.
you're saying about the fastest man in the world, and you're watching Business Access.
Refuge Key is a relatively small island in the Port Royal mangroves, but it's unique because it's entirely detached from the rest of the mangroves. And so it is a haven for birds. Refuge Key was inundated by garbage, decades of garbage, especially on the North Shore, where it's against the Kingston Harbor. And because of that, the layers of garbage formed a berm, preventing water exchange on and off the quay.
The quay was dying.
Mangrove forests need flushing. They need seawater or river water to flow through the forest. It removes excess salt, it removes toxins, the plants produce toxins, and it also helps with aeration, helps to get oxygen to the roots. And so the middle of the quay, the forest was dying.
That's when Professor Weber and her team stepped in to do what they could to help. But saving Refuge Key wouldn't be easy.
In the initial cleaning, we spent about 6 weeks cleaning Refuge Key. Most of the solid waste coming from Kingston and other areas. Plastic bottles, styrofoam, crates, anything, plastic bags, you name it. Refrigerators, TVs, you can find on Refuge Key. For the duration of 6 weeks, we took off over 8,400 bags of garbage. We also took off stuff that couldn't be bagged itself. Most of this garbage, it was more compounded, the buildup of garbage over time. So it's probably about 3 to 4 feet of garbage. So once you took off the top layer, there was actually more. We actually did a cleaning of a meter square, and it took about 30 minutes to clean just a meter square because the amount of garbage in that one tiny area. So it took us about 30 minutes. And that gave us an indication of the time frame of cleaning itself, how long it would take, and an estimate of the amount of garbage roughly we could take off Refuge Key. And as I said before, we took off over 8,400 bags with also stuff that couldn't be bagged itself, that was to just carry by vessel around a pickup site. And the fishers, they would stay 7-8 hours on the quay cleaning every day for the 6-week period.
We haven't had garbage causing a problem like this before. A lot of mangrove forests die because they build roads, they build or they dump sediment in the area, and that prevents the exchange of water. This mangrove forest, the berm was made by garbage. And so we hope to get the trees back. The problem with a mangrove island, once the trees die, once the forest dies, the rest of the system going to erode. There is nothing there but the mangrove plant to sustain the island.
Jamaicans oftentimes fail to make the connection between their improper garbage disposal and the impact on the environment. But the fact that the mangroves were dying meant that a crucial ecosystem was at risk.
The whole forest system in the Port Royal area helped to protect the Port Royal Spit, the narrow strip of land that really create Kingston Harbor. And so the mangroves form a natural windbreaker. The integrity of the land is maintained by the roots, the branching roots. So once you start to compromise the mangrove system, you can lose the protection of the palisadoes. The biodiversity in the area is also very high, and the fisheries in the area, and that is what concerns the fishers. They collect oysters directly from the mangrove roots, and they also know that the area is a nursery for big fish. So adults go in there and spawn, the juvenile fish are protected in there. That area is rich. All that mud and so on that you see, it's organic matter. So it provides nourishment and shelter for the fish. And so in a few years, once you reduce that area, the fish population in the harbor will decline.
It is very important to the fishing industry because most of the reef fish you find out there on the reef, you can track them back to a juvenile or baby stage to these lagoons in these areas, right around Refuge Key and in the lagoon areas, because their survival rate is much higher. Being in here, they can hide, they can camouflage themselves, versus being out in a more pelagical area, the open water itself, where they can be eaten very quickly. So it's very important. It's a nursery ground for most of these commercial fish species.
As the plastic waste continues to choke the harbor, it's slowly killing livelihoods.
When they throw a net and pull, they get a lot of materials that is just damaging the net, snaring the net in some cases. When you have things like freezers and old tires, and they are trawling, they're going to damage their fishing gear. So direct effects are those to the fishers. It costs them money. You're driving your engine and you're going to damage your prop on something. So those, they will tell you, are problems.
Well, the pollution cannot kill the wildlife in the mangrove, especially the oysters. It cannot destroy the root of the mangrove. It can stifle them, mango bush them from growing. And it harbor rat also, that kind of parasite, lizard, and a lot of things. If a fisherman to try to set on it, and by the time he pick up, he get more garbage than fish, So the garbage kind of really have a big role.
Oysters filter feed, and when the plastic stays in the mangroves for long enough, it fragments. It breaks up into tiny pieces. It doesn't disappear, it just fragments into food-sized pieces. So I work on plankton, and plankton are like a millimeter or less. When the plastic fragments get to plankton size, it gets eaten by oysters, and fish as well. And so right up there against the mangrove roots where the oysters grow, you have the greatest concentration of plastic. One, the oysters are going to decline. And two, they're going to be contaminated. People really shouldn't eat them until that place is cleaned up. And so the fishers know this. They're getting less material, they're getting less fishing and fishable resources in the mangroves, and they know that the place is so dirty that they really shouldn't be fishing there.
Without garbage, the fish them would have, a better environment. Sometimes the birds them and the fish them, you find like plastic bags inside them belly, you pull the guts them, because most of the time them rush to bait them and things. The way the pollution is them pick up all a piece of plastic instead of fish and swallow by mistake, And even the bags them tangle up the birds, them get tangled up in fishing line and plastic bag, and them suffer around here and it's die. And I want you to help. So I guess the cleanup is a good thing.
So with the pollution levels so high, should there be a ban on fishing in the Kingston Harbor?
What these fishers are supposed to do, supposed to hold the oyster in clean seawater for like 12 hours and allow it to purify itself, allow it to flush itself. You see, fish is not so bad because you remove the gut of the fish. The oysters, they eat everything. And so you want to hold the oyster in a bucket of clean seawater. If you can aerate it, that would be great. And so I think they have to do more of that sort of thing. Because if somebody gets sick and they eat oyster at Port Royal, then their business is going to go down. So they try their best to make sure that the contamination is reduced.
Professor Weber points out that saving Refuge Key goes beyond just ensuring that the livelihood of fisherfolk is preserved.
Biodiversity seems very esoteric, very removed from the common man. But we have found organisms in those mangroves that have anti-tumor drugs, Echinocida turbinata. We have found, aside from food and medicines, mangroves can eventually provide timber. If the forest is healthy enough, you can actually remove wood from the forest. So in a lot of places, the mangrove is a resource. People living way up in Kingston and so on may not appreciate how the Port Royal community depends on the mangrove.
Plastic bottles are among the major pollutants on Refuge Key, and with talks of banning single-use plastics increasing, the Caribbean Policy Research Institute, CAPRI, investigated the feasibility of implementing a deposit refund system, DRS, in Jamaica. The system is expected to encourage and compensate consumers for plastic bottle returns. The Capri researchers are proposing 3 methods for bottle return.
The first one involves the consumer going to the supermarket. An employee at the supermarket would handle the returns. They'd count the bottles. They'll reimburse the consumer based on the number of bottles that they return. A transportation company comes and collects those bottles and takes them back to the processing center. The second model is very similar to the first in that the supermarket acts as a point of return and reimbursement, except that in this model, we're looking at an automated return system, the use of reverse vending machines, where consumers simply place their bottles within the machine automatically determines whether it's an eligible bottle that is participating in the DRS, and therefore counts the number of bottles and determines the deposit that must be refunded and issues either a voucher, typically a voucher or a cash that the consumer can use.
The third model sees consumers collecting the bottles and taking them to a specific depot or recycling facility themselves. The Capri researchers point out that the findings revealed that while Jamaicans were willing to return plastic bottles, they weren't willing to travel too far to do so.
One of the questions we asked about was the willingness of consumers to return bottles and how far would they be willing to travel. And essentially the majority of persons would be willing to travel no more than 5 minutes to drop off their bottle. I say this to emphasize the point that a depot model is not likely to bring you maximum recovery rates because it's just not going to be convenient to the consumer. Convenience is key to make this a deposit refund system work.
The compensation also has to be worth the effort.
For $1, essentially 11% of persons would be willing to make the effort and bring in their bottle and get a refund. To achieve a recovery rate of about 80 to 85%, which is typically what would be aimed for in a first world system, you'd need to charge about $5 per bottle.
With most of the island's plastic bottles ending up in landfills across the country, the National Solid Waste Management Authority, NSWMA, says it will support a deposit refund system. The hope is that with more people recycling, the amount of plastic bottles that end up in the dump will be drastically reduced.
Jamaica in general is creating more and more waste, and because of that, our municipal dumps are being constantly filled. In 2014, we collected roughly about 672,000 tons of garbage, and in 2017, we collected roughly about 872,000. When we look at the locale that we're now sitting in terms of the metropolitan area, the retirement landfill collects roughly about 539,000 tons of garbage last year, all right? And out of that, 17% of that is plastic.
It's been months since the initial cleaning of Refuge Quay and the subsequent massive garbage haul. While the quay has been somewhat rehabilitated and life is slowly returning to the mangrove forest, the garbage problem persists. Every time it rains heavily, the garbage in Kingston's gullies gets washed into the Kingston Harbour. Then sooner or later, it lands on Refuge Quay.
In 2050, there'll be more plastic in the sea than fish at the rate we're going. So it is a worldwide issue to reduce, reuse, change how we've gotten so used to this extremely durable, long-lasting material that doesn't biodegrade. We've been doing collections using a manta trawl, which is an internationally accepted method of collecting the plastics. The worst I've seen just east of Gunboat Beach is where 25% of the catch was plastic. A quarter of, if you think 1 in 4 of the particles that a fish would encounter is plastic and not plankton. And we're doing some analysis. There is an area that looks worse. It might get as much as 40% of the catch being plastic, and that's where the fish are feeding. So I'm really hoping that is the worst that we have. Other parts of the world, in bays, you will have 20, 15%. You know, Kingston Harbor is perhaps one of the worst places.
We're taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world. Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene. Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad. Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
Edible mushrooms are a species of fungus with many varieties. Mushrooms offer consumers numerous cooking options while delivering a wealth of nutritional value. It's therefore no surprise the earning potential of edible mushrooms is being seriously considered locally. Leading the edible mushroom charge is the Association of Mushroom Growers Jamaica.
Cultivating mushroom is 25% science. So you must understand tissue culture, you have to understand agar, do a lot of lab work, the hygiene of creating the clones of your mushroom. And it is 25% farming and 50% manufacturing. You could probably start the ball rolling with $100,000. You need a growing facility. You need enough money to buy 50 grow bags. The grow bag is $1,000. You need to do some research so you know who you're buying grow bags from. You should make sure that whoever is producing your grow bag can demonstrate a minimum of 100% bioefficiency. And what that means is if you spend to buy a grow bag, you should have a guarantee what that grow bag is going to produce. And 100% bioefficiency means whatever dry material went into the grow bag, it will produce equal amount of mushroom. So if you're going to buy a grow bag that has a 3-pound weight of dry material in it, you should have a guarantee that you're going to get 3 pounds of mushroom.
The association CEO says there is help available for Jamaicans who want to venture into mushroom cultivation.
What we do is we create on one anchor site, we create colonized, ready-to-grow grow bag. That is our version of the day-old chicks. So most of our farmers don't have to learn how to make tissue culture, they don't have to learn how to make spawn, they don't have to learn how to inoculate a grow bag, because the Anchor Farm does all of those and produces a grow bag that is ready to produce within 3 days of the farmer receiving it.
She says the return on investment can be significant.
10 pounds of mushroom for one of my ladies could earn them $15,000. That's a lot better than washing people dirty clothes, cleaning them house, and carrying yam head for the whole week.
However, the discussion about cultivating mushrooms locally has been had before. Going as far back as the late 1950s, there have been different projects executed locally to boost the production of the crop, but to no avail. But Ms. Smith is arguing that this time around it's different.
This isn't the first time that Jamaica has gone after developing a mushroom industry. Yes, you're right. We've been growing mushrooms in Jamaica since 1958. When the youth camp system was producing mushrooms. Yes, and we had a thing that we tried in the 80s. What is different is that right now Jamaica has a lot more of us that knows about mushroom. We have our own mycology. We have local strains that have been captured here in Jamaica and have been developed. We understand tropical mushroom cultivation.
There is obviously a local market for mushroom production as the imports register over $40 million annually.
The prospects for mushroom cultivation are excellent. Jamaica stands to earn some $41 million and provide much needed jobs from the development of a vibrant mushroom industry. Since 2007, there has been a steady increase in the importation of mushroom into Jamaica, with concentrated consumption in the resort areas of the island. Data for 2017 states that mushroom imports were 167,000 kilograms, valued at $327,800 US, or as I said, approximately 41 million.
The minister also points to the employment opportunities.
We can have 20 or more persons growing mushroom in each community, with each earning a minimum of $30,000 a month. This would be catering to the youth and women. If there was only 3 communities in each constituency throughout the island, we would be looking at employing a minimum of 3,800 persons in this mushroom program.
Locally, you have hotels that are importing millions of dollars of mushrooms every week. You have the supermarkets that want to carry it. You have, in our case, we deliver across the country. We deliver with weekly delivery, but we also will send stuff out via Knutsford Express. The market in Jamaica, it depends on who you talk to. They will tell you 41 million. I don't think anybody knows the actual limit on the market in Jamaica, because there is so many native Jamaicans that are not being calculated at the moment that want to have mushrooms, that you could say it's between 41 and $75 million. The market is large and growing. We are now eating lots of mushrooms on pizza, in Chinese food. The American-style restaurants are presenting it. There's mushrooms on burgers. And I think a lot of the younger customers, the millennials and younger, they're just adventurous. And mushroom is healthy, so they go for it.
Meanwhile, local gourmet mushroom company The Toadstool, which has been around for about 2 years, says despite their ability to put out thousands of pounds of edible mushroom annually, that's just a drop in the demand bucket.
The factory can produce 3,600 pounds of mushrooms per month.
The demand is more than most people understand, because when I say mushroom, the regular person will think of comparing it to an onion or a carrot. It's not the same thing. But there is a demand, and it's not something that's as publicized as when you're watching TV and you hear that there is an onion shortage or a glut or something. You won't hear that about mushroom, because what's happening is there's a constant stream of importation that's happening.
Global mushroom market could be worth some $60 billion by the year 2021. Local farmers are therefore aiming not just to meet the local demand, but to tap into the global market. That is why the Association of Mushroom Growers Jamaica says by 2019 it expects to have local mushrooms ready for export. However, these won't be your typical plain old edible mushrooms.
We are hoping that we have products for the North American market by January of 2019. We are looking at making a pre-mixed cookie/sweet products. We have preserved mushroom in honey and a spicy syrup, and we have an array of pickled mushroom in bamboo vinegar. We've developed products where we are using pineapple and banana vinegar along with Scotch bonnet and thyme and the Jamaican flavors, to layer them onto the mushroom and seal them in jars for export. So we're working on it. I think that's where the magic is going to be, in that there will be no limit to the industry as long as we have ready products. We get excited about the fresh mushroom market, but that's not the thing. The real secret to Jamaica winning at this mushroom thing is developing exportable products that are healthy.
The Propel project, which is funded through the World University Service of Canada, is also trying to help boost local mushroom production. Agriculturalist and Senior Agricultural Coordinator of the project, Alvin Murray, says local farmers can also tap into opportunities in medicine and other food productions.
Medicinal mushroom is going to be a huge business, and there are other things. For example, additives to beers, additive to drinks on a whole. I mean, soups, dry mushroom, mushroom soup. And we haven't started educating our people yet, really. For the people who want to get off meat, I mean, when you think that mushroom is the only food that provides vitamin D that you get from the sunlight, and the benefits from protein, I mean, it's just a superfood.
Even the waste at the end of the process has earning potential. The substrate or organic material can be sold as fertilizer or animal feed.
We get our mushrooms, then the spent substrate that is there, we then turn it into vermicompost. And what we do is we introduce earthworms into it, and that will break it down. And then you have fertilizer, organic, rich, healthy fertilizer for any crop out there. We're also looking into possibly pelletization, because the animals will eat the spent substrate because it's just biological material, it's grass. So we can feed it to the goats, feed it to the cows, and it's high in nutritional value.
However, there are a few challenges facing the local mushroom industry.
Many mushroom facilities encounter a problem and they all wipe out. There's a green mold and there is a blue mold. It's miserable with mushrooms.
He says an approach similar to the one being taken by the Association of Mushroom Growers, with one entity working on the scientific aspect, another producing grow bags, and then the end stage with farmers purchasing the grow bags and concentrating on cultivation, could solve that specific problem. But there are other issues.
There has to be a commitment to making sure that the poor, marginalized women and the marginalized youth have a place in the industry, that there's a coordinated approach to get into the market, and that we make sure that the middlemen don't really mess up the market. And that's been the toughest thing about establishing a mushroom industry in Jamaica. Getting mushroom to the market is a challenge. Oyster mushroom is very delicate. It has to be picked right, chilled right, packed right, delivered right. That's a big thing. Getting paid for your mushroom, that's another thing.
Ms. Smith knows that as more people become aware of the earning potential of mushrooms, they're eager to come into the industry. However, she implores them to equip themselves with the requisite knowledge before venturing into cultivation.
The Association of Mushroom Producers and Food for the Poor, we are open to delivering training courses, to helping you to set up your grow house, to developing new varieties, because the variety that grows in Manchester, where it's nice and cold, in Christiana, is not necessarily going to do very well in Denby or Kingston. And so we need to have that organized approach and work to get what's best for you where you are. And understand that if we work together, then we could really rock this. Jamaica could become one of those places that you go to have mushroom meal.
you're saying about the fastest man in the world and you're watching Business Access.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Chill Spot. On this episode, we'll be talking to Kamal Banke, a man who wears many hats. He'll be talking to us about his life as a DJ, a promoter, and a PR consultant as we hang out right here at the beautiful Sandals Ochi Beach Resort. So don't go anywhere. Chill Spot begins right now. Hi Kamal. How are you?
Hi Candy, I'm great.
So you've taken us here to Sandals Grand Ocho Rios, which I'm very excited about, but tell us why this is your chill spot.
Well, so I live in Kingston, which is, in my opinion, the cultural mecca of Jamaica.
Right, absolutely.
But sometimes you want to escape a little bit and come and chill somewhere outside of town. 45 minutes with the new highway. Yes. Ocho Rios is a perfect spot to chill, and this is the #1 spot to chill in Ocho Rios.
Well, I haven't seen very much of it, but from what I have seen and experienced just in the first 5 minutes, I'm very excited about that.
Well, take it from me. I'm here all the time, and believe me, there's the world to do here. Great food, activities, lots of fun.
So that being said, what exactly are we going to be doing today?
Well, a little of this, a little of that. I mean, we're going to have some lunch, of course. Going to taste some cocktails at the bar. We're going to do some sports. I'm a big sports fan.
I would imagine that Sandals has a lot of food options and places for us to eat. Where exactly are we going to be eating here? Which is your spot?
In true Jamaican style. And this is actually the best kept secret of Sandals. Oh, they brought a drink for you.
Oh, lovely.
Thank you
so
much.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, delicious. Like I said, all in the first 5 minutes.
Absolutely.
All in the first 5 minutes.
The best kept secrets of Sandals. They have some of the most delicious jerk in the entire country.
Are you sure?
I will tell you this. The people that know me best know that I'm a real foodie. I cook, I own a restaurant, I eat like copious amounts of food. I know food. And I can tell you, the jerk out here, it's giving Scotches a run for its money. I'm gonna let you decide.
You're making me salivate, okay? So.
It's probably better.
All right, so what are we gonna be doing first?
So the first thing is that I'm gonna show you the property. This property is actually really cool. It has two sides. So you have the beach side and the manor side, and you have excellent food and drink options on both sides. But we're gonna check the bar up here. It's lovely.
Perfect. I'm ready to get started. Let's go.
Let's go.
I thought you meant the first move for all of them.
Coming up.
From what we've done, conservative estimates are somewhere about $1.5 billion Jamaican pumped into the economy because of the Dream Weekend effect.
Welcome to The Business Year. The Business Year is a global media group specializing in economic news and business intelligence. We bring our readers first-hand insights from over 35 countries. Each of our country-centered publications features over 150 face-to-face interviews with local leaders in business and policy. We are The Business Year.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
The Good Life, your trusted source for useful health and wellness information, lifestyle tips for the mind, body, and soul. Tune in Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
So, a man who wears many hats. You are a DJ, you are a promoter, and you are part owner of a restaurant, Ribbies. Let's start with the promoter side and the business of entertainment. How did you get involved with Dream Entertainment?
So, Dream Entertainment is, in my opinion, one of the most dynamic and, leading entertainment companies actually in Jamaica. Dream Entertainment started from the Dream Team, which is a group of promoters who basically do a lot of the signature events across Jamaica, and we decided that we're going to unite and join forces to bring some of the events that we all were doing in Negril under one banner. So I was doing an event called Wet and Wild with my partners down there on ATI. Some other people were doing some of the ATI parties, some people were doing RTI parties, and we joined forces along with the Smirnoff exclusive team and brought you the best events on one armband. So that's how Dream Weekend was born. Dream Weekend has had a significant impact not only on the entertainment industry, but generally on the Negril resort town. Obviously the concept of what Dream is was started by ATI. So they were the originators of that whole party weekend concept.
That whole idea, yes.
In Negril. And if there was no ATI, there would be no Dream Weekend. But we think that we've refined it and made it a bit more workable and marketable internationally. So right now we get about 20,000 people to Negril for that weekend.
Wow, 20,000.
Yeah. About 20,000. Wow. And based on the latest surveys that the JTB has done, about 51–52% of those are actually tourists.
International, right?
Yeah, not Jamaicans who come home for summer. People who live and work abroad. mainly from the eastern seaboard of the United States, including Toronto, the United Kingdom, and basically we have representation from all continents. From what we've done, conservative estimates are somewhere about $1.5 billion Jamaican pumped into the economy because of the Dream Weekend effect.
Would you say having that significant impact on the economy is your greatest accomplishment where Dream is concerned?
Impact on the economy in terms of direct spend is, I think, #1, and a close second is direct employment. Between, you know, security, bartenders,
Absolutely.
lifeguards, safety people.
You guys have a lot of employees for that weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we bring down in excess of 300 people to the town. That's our staff for the weekend. And then you have contracted employees and, you know, people that are coming in like DJs and stuff like that.
What would you say is unique about the Dream experience?
If you understand how Negril is laid out geographically, it's a 7-mile strip on the beach with hotels, party venues, restaurants, bars, all the way up. Now, there's nowhere else in Jamaica that you have that. Very few places in the world actually have that logistic, you know, benefit, and you're able to keep events there. So while there are actually bigger venues in Jamaica, single event venues, the whole logistics of people staying where they're partying on one strip, and then we're actually able to use shuttle buses up and down the strip so people don't have to drive anywhere. That's unique, you know, and they can hop from restaurant to bar to party to their hotel to somebody else's hotel. You know, basically for 6 days, that is, in my opinion, one of the greatest experiences ever.
Very convenient, I should say. And what can patrons expect from this year's staging?
Well, so we have, in my opinion, the most high energy event anywhere in the world, which is Extreme Wet and Wild. The energy that you get at Extreme Wet and Wild is unparalleled. There's nowhere else that's doing something like that. We have a concert. We have great artists, great DJs playing on every event. Our sponsors for this year, Appleton Special, they're back on board. They're actually owning some of the events. So you're gonna see, you know, a different presentation of the look and feel of some of these events. The bars, you know, what we serve there. It's a higher level.
What would you say is one of the biggest misconceptions about being a party promoter or being in this industry?
That it's fun. Yeah.
So it's not?
It's a lot of hard work. I work so that you have fun. Right. So basically, you know, when people are enjoying themselves and whatever, I'm kind of a lot of the times in the background, you know, making sure everything is
right. But it really does seem so glamorous from the outside. I really imagine that as a party promoter, you guys would have a lot of fun doing it.
I feed off the energy, you know, so I enjoy seeing people have fun. I myself am worrying about 10 million things while it's happening.
Right.
So I don't necessarily get to enjoy it, but
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, seeing people enjoy themselves is one of the reasons why I do this.
All right, so let's take off the Dream hat now.
Okay.
All right, and let's put on the Ribbies hat.
Cool.
Okay, and tell us how that started.
So, a young man named Garth Walker, who is a good friend of mine and also part of the Dream team, decided to have this Wealth Grillers team entered in the Jamaican All-Island Grill-Off. Being a foodie myself, you know, I was always, you know, passionate about food and cooking and grilling and whatever. Ribby Chung, who is a person who started Asylum and Cactus and Quad and those places, he was known at times to go behind the grill and, you know, grill up some stuff himself. And of course, Don Creary, who is a self-proclaimed master chef, right? We were invited by Garth, who cannot cook, to be the actual chefs on the team while Garth served the food. So we went and we entered this All-Island Grill-Off and we started cooking together. The first year we entered, we actually came second overall, but won in a few categories. And then the second year we won overall. And yeah, thank you. And then the whole process of bonding and coming together, we had this rapport and whatever in terms of, you know, partnership. Garth, being not at all skillful in the kitchen or food and beverage, he is a media man, he's an events man. But the rest of us who are loosely involved in entertainment and promotions and, you know, being a promoter myself, food and beverage, intrinsically, we said, hey, you know, let's have a little bar, let's do a little bar. And an opportunity came our way to take over the Acropolis Arena. And, you know, we kind of said to ourselves, well, you know, it's a nice little chill spot. You know, we can have, you know, a few drinks after work, invite some of our friends over. And, you know, we started July 1st, 2013. And basically, it's blossomed into one of the most amazing entertainment night spots in Jamaica.
And do you have any other professional pursuits right now?
Yes, I'm a PR consultant. I do corporate PR consultancy and strategy. I've been doing that for maybe about 10 plus years with some big corporate clients.
Right. And I think I was told that you're also a DJ.
It's always been a serious hobby of mine. I was DJing on and off from high school. You know, every high school kid wants to get involved, have a little sound, whatever. And then when I went off to college in America, we kind of disbanded. And then I turned, you know, a promoter. And then now, you know, back in the saddle in entertainment, I was like, yo, let me try and do this again, because I really like it. And then I kind of took it a little bit more serious. And yeah, I'm a professional DJ now. I play all over the world. And,
oh, wow. Well, yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And as it relates to those fields, what have your accomplishments been so far? I know you said you DJ all over the world.
Yeah, I mean, what has been really, really a great honor was, you know, I've been named a couple of times over the years to entertainment advisory boards for the government.
Okay.
So.
And you currently do that?
Well, I'd start back in 2008. I was named as a director of the Jamaica Information Service of the advisory board. And I was deputy chairman of the Agricultural Investment Corporation, AIC, through the Ministry of Agriculture. Then I was named to the Entertainment Advisory Board in, I believe, 2012, and named chairman of the Jamrock Summer Working Group, which is an entertainment tourism project.
Well, you know you're doing something right, eh?
No, back on the Entertainment Advisory Board. I'm the entertainment person on the Tourism Linkages Council, chairman of the Entertainment Network in the Ministry of Tourism.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
I was getting confused just listening to the list.
As I say,
exciting,
it's an honor.
Absolutely.
To be, I mean, you know, you dedicate your life to an industry, and I guess that's the best way that people can say, okay, yeah, you're actually, you know, one of the leaders in the industry, so I'm honored.
How would you want to be remembered in this industry?
Every single thing that I try and put my mind to, everything that I'm involved in, I want to change it slightly, put my spin on it, and be innovative, and I guess be remembered for being an innovative person and somebody that changed the industry.
All right, Mr. Banky, well, what's next on our agenda for today?
So our tour continues, Candy. After having a refreshing drink, we're actually going to go now and play some sports.
Oh, God.
We'll see how fit and ready you are for summer.
Definitely going to embarrass me, but let's go.
Coming up.
Stay current and gain more information on the ever-evolving industry of real estate on Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Cameo brings the creative industries to life, highlighting creatives in different fields each week. Art.
My life turns art. I breathe, I eat art.
Fashion. Food.
The other customer were nothing but four walls.
Music. Film. Cameo, only on Business Access TV.
We are back with another exciting, innovative and inspiring season.
It takes a lot of stick-to-itiveness, being consistent and persistent in whatever you're doing. That's the bottom line.
Business exists to add value to people's lives. And if we're not doing that, might as well we back down the store and just call it a day.
It's a season 3 of Creating Wealth, Mondays at 8 p.m. on Business Access TV.
Way off the mark. Are you warm now?
I'm ready. Let's go right now.
All right. Oh! Finally. But so far, so good with this resort. I'm very excited, though, about this food that's about to come.
Listen.
Very excited.
All right, I'm gonna tell you a little secret. You know, I said earlier, it's giving Scotches a run for its money. Arguably better.
What?
Yeah. It's not Portland authentic jerk,
Right.
but it's the closest thing. I mean, it's really
Well, I'm
good.
very excited to experience it.
And I mean, at a resort, at a hotel,
Yeah. Unheard of.
hats off to Sandals.
All right, Kamal, so I want to get into your childhood.
My childhood.
Yes. So let's talk about how you were raised, where you were raised, where you grew up. Do you have any siblings?
Before I was 10, I lived in Cayman Islands, Bahamas, United States, and Jamaica. Came to Jamaica when I was 6. And first school I went to, actually, most people don't know this, was Monique All Age in St. Anne. That was the first school I went to. Then I moved to Peter and Paul, undoubtedly the best prep school in the universe.
After Mono. Okay, sure.
We're not going to argue on camera, but we know the truth.
I think you know the
Fair
truth in your heart, so let's proceed.
Fair enough. And then I went to Campion for high school. That was my early...
Sorry to cut you, but the best school in Jamaica is a girls' school, so I don't expect you to have attended that one. But again, you may continue.
You mean Andrews?
Yes.
I was head boy of Andrews. Absolutely. I was a head boy
That's a
of
good way to
St.
put it.
Andrew High. I mean, I went to Campion, but I was the honorary head boy of St. Andrew High for girls. Spent some time there. And of course, you know, being myself, very interested in integration.
Right.
Yeah, secondary school integration. I was championing the movement for integration of all schools.
Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have one brother and one sister.
They're older or younger?
Both older.
Okay. So other than coming to Sandals to relax and take a vacation, what else do you like to do for fun?
So it's difficult for me to have fun a lot of the times when I'm, you know, hanging out in Jamaica because my business, my work is entertainment. I'm here, I'm always on. You know, I'm at Ribby's most nights and that's work. So it's only when I actually get to like travel that I actually have fun.
Rest, yes.
Yeah, so I rest, I chill, whatever. So for me, travel is it. I'll pop up in a new country, you know, and I explore it, rent a car, drive all around, you know, and really try to see everything that a country has to offer. Go to good restaurants, bars, night spots. That's what I like to do.
Okay, and what would you say is next for Kamal Banky?
I'm gonna be a lawyer. Just kidding.
I'm like, curveball.
No, I'm going to continue in entertainment, just trying to do bigger and better stuff, working on different aspects of entertainment. You know, along with my partners at Dream, we actually have some really cool stuff that we're working on right now. Hopefully we can announce it very soon.
Okay, great.
Look forward to bringing the best of entertainment to the world, and hopefully the world loves it.
Well, Kamal, thank you so much for taking us here to Sandals Grand Ocho Rios. I had a fabulous day learning to play chess, playing tennis, basketball. Oh! Yes! Woo! Woo! Everything was just perfect, so thank you so much for sharing your chess.
Thanks so much for coming, and we're happy to have you.
Well, I'm looking forward to relaxing for the rest of this day, so...
All good.
And that's it for this episode of Chill Spot, where we hung out with entertainment entrepreneur and so much more, Kamal Banky, right here at Sandals Ochi Beach Resort. Until next time, I'm Candy for Chill Spot. Bye. Is that a lizard on the course? If there's a lizard there, we are... No, it's a leaf. I was supposed to say, we're not going over there if there's a lizard. We are not going over there.
Hey everybody, my name is Kamal Banky and I am an
The whole purpose of putting him here was to kill you.
Because you don't understand what to do.
Yeah, but I didn't know he could only move in an L. I thought you were just saying like one of the main features of him is he can move in an L. This is stupid. I quit. What was that? They want to know advice on being a great host. And that's really easy. Like, be named Candy King. Here, Flip.
Violence is bad. Violence against our innocent little children is terrible. Pretending not to notice when we know or suspect that a child is suffering is awful and morally wrong. In the words of the great Nelson Mandela, there can be no keener realization of a nation's soul than the way in which it treats its children. Think about that for a second. I have a voice. It's one of my gifts. I intend to use it on behalf of our children. No more violence against our children. Make your move to stop violence against our children right now. No more. No more. No more.
Jamaican music has worldwide influence. This week on Cameo, we highlight instrumentalists.
I would usually pick up an instrument maybe 6, 7, 8 years of age. Unfortunately for some of us in Jamaica, like myself, you know, you have to wait till you reach like 12, 13 years of age to start, which is really not the right time to start. But, you know, when you start, you have to be serious, you have to practice, you have to look at it as a career where you're going to be interested in moving and getting bigger and getting more famous and everything. So this thing is a serious thing. It's not something that you do for show off or for hype, as people would say. It's a professional job and you just have to do it on a professional level.
Dean Fraser is a Jamaican saxophonist who has contributed to hundreds of reggae recordings since the 1970s. He was awarded the Musgrave Medal by the Jamaican government in 1993 in recognition of his services to music.
I came up through what you call the top 10 band where I play dance music. Then I started to play music in the studios, right? I have learned all of this over the years. I've sat beside great engineers, Jeffrey Chung, Stephen Stanley, Mr. Thompson, Dennis Thompson. I've sat beside all of these great people and watched them record, watched them mix music, and I've learned all of this stuff, you know, and so I am able now to produce. You understand me? And even when I say retire from playing live or playing my instruments, I can sit in the studio and produce, because that's where I just need my ear and my, you know, music creativity to continue doing music as long as I want to. Well, now you have to be very creative live, because the songs don't sell anymore. They are not, you know, the recordings and things. So you have to be really good live. You have to be a good performer, you know, and you just have to be on top of your game as a singer, as a musician, you know, as a producer, and then I think you will make money. It is lucrative to be a musician. It can be, yes. Because it have its ups and downs, you know, because, I mean, it's not something that's ongoing. It's not something that stays. You understand me? And I think you will notice it. You know, today, me, tomorrow, you understand me? There come a time when you have to change the direction that the music is going, you know? No matter what genre you're playing, but you can come and change the direction. You can slow it down, you can speed it up, you know. And with this, you know, you are able to, like, people are saying, what did he just do? You understand me? And so being creative really is the way to go, you know. People don't think that music is a job. You know, the average man think music is a hobby. You know, something where, yeah, man, it's a hobby, man. Him just, yeah, what you gonna do? Play music? Then no play, you gonna play. You know, it's not anything serious. You understand me? So the kind of respect, the kind of respect that you get from music, I think that comes more from the hardcore people, the so-called downtown people. I think they show much more respect to our music than, you know, our society in general. You understand me? The society will show respect more to individuals, you know, but to the music itself and what you have done, is a little layman out there, you know, that say, yes, I like that, you understand me? We have the institution, we have Alpha, we have Stone Hill, and you have a couple of other places, because a couple of other schools now, like in Montego Bay, the Boys Club, you have quite a few places, like I think Pembroke Hall School, that's it. That, you know, all of these little schools are, you know, doing a lot of teaching to, you know, and bringing out instrumentalists. And of course the church, you know, that a lot of our great musicians come from. But if we could have just get a little more music in the schools, you know, part of the curriculum, you know, you know, as a one subject, you know, it would have really put a little boost with energy, you know, so that, you know, we could have feed Edna Manley with some more young, you know, vibrant and talented musicians. The most important thing is to learn your instrument and you are unable to play. Because if you are even someone who uses computer, you have to have some kind of music background to use it properly. You understand me? Because the people who just think that them can go computer and create music, really them just create disposables, you know, them don't really create nothing for last, or you know. And if you really want music for last, you have to play live, play an instrument, play good music. I mean, why Bob Marley gone, what, nearly 30 years and his music is still, you understand me? Ska music of 40-year-old, and you know, it's still good music. So, you know, even though we have all this electronic kind of stuff now, that is, to me, it's more, because you don't drive around listening to electronic club music and all of that, you know. You just need to have good music being played by instrumentalists, and you know, good vocals, good everything.
Ready for cable for as little as $100? Ready for no monthly cable bill? Ready for 10 TV channels absolutely free? Then pick up our Ready TV box at authorized stores for $4,500. Hook it up to your TV set, then top it up with Ready Credit for 1, 7, or 30 days. Buy now and get $1,000 free Ready Credit and start watching your favorite shows. Pick it up, hook it up, top it up. Ready TV. Prepaid cable TV when you're ready. Now serving Kingston and St. Catherine. Limited time offer while stocks last. Conditions apply.
There's only one recommendation for funding that is ever going to come from me, and that is funding from a bank.
This is the cost to build, and it includes every nail and screw for the building.
Our motto is building communities, building a nation.
Get in the know with the world of real estate with Business Access TV's Home Sweet Home, Sundays at 4:30 p.m.
We're taking you beyond our shores, across the region and around the world. Every week, BATV gives you in-depth reporting on the major stories that gripped headlines in the Caribbean and on the international scene. Join us Sundays for This Week Abroad. Business Access TV, serious about business at home and abroad.
Go for God Family Church.
Today's message is for those of you who thought that Jesus was finished.
Inspiring messages.
I'm here to tell you today that you are excellent. God is excellent.
Empowerment from biblical motivation.
To be glorified means to endow with authority. A woman is a powerful, creative being.
Join Pastor Christopher Morgan and the Go for God team as we go for God.
Clive Hunt is a Jamaican reggae multi-instrumentalist, arranger, composer, and producer. He has worked with Beres Hammond, Judy Mott, the Abyssinians, and Garnet Silk, and recorded with Jimmy Cliff, Steely and Clevie, and the Rolling Stones, to name a few.
I think, anything that's of the arts, just like somebody just start just say a blank canvas or a paper and start painting, it's creativity. I mean, I think people who build a car is creative, being creative, or somebody who do carpentry or make shoes or clothes is creative too. So music is just one of them, but then most instrumentalists are not really creators. They just play what they learn to play, and they play something somebody else do, and they might do a little improvisation here and there, and it's like a creative thing. But music is the art of creativity. That's what it's the only way I could describe it.
Eyes get so red from hunger and wrath.
Music is all I've ever done. I don't have it as different from anything else, I think anything else someone is doing has its challenges and has ways when it can be approached different for growth and to, and to be better, and for us to pass on the knowledge we have to other younger ones and show them, okay, this is where we are, this is where you can go. So the challenge is just norm in another skill. But in music and in our Jamaican and the cultural aspect of our thing, there are quite a bit of challenges. And before Edna Man is doing such a great job of letting out a lot of instrumentalists, even the singers I call instrumentalists, they don't call themselves that. They are just one member in the band. They are no special than the bass player or the drummer, to me, right? So it gives me an advantage when I'm producing them, to let them know, say, you're just one member of the band. Edna is not a bunch of good instrumentalists, very good, above average. Back in my days, you didn't find so many good people coming out. I never seen it. And I think Alpha was doing that job for a long time, Alpha Boys School. But the challenge now is not just, say, players or instrumentalists. The challenge now is the level of creativity and the directions of the creativity.
What invasion of privacy with this modern technology.
Now, I'm not going to be like some of my friends who call any music making Jamaica reggae. No, reggae is as has certain distinctions. I wanted to be one of the best musicians ever in Jamaica as a black Jamaican youth. I'm a daddy, a Rasta man. I learned classical music. I studied every book. I read about every composer, Beethoven, Bach, everything. I could tell you everything about them, everything. You know what I mean? I learned all of these things. I went to college in England. I did well. Everybody was proud of me. I came back and I was in the army, playing in one of the military bands. And then somebody come and asked me, I think it was Bonnie Brown, who worked with Derek Harrod, to play on a session, a recording session. They might take long, I have to go back and kiss my teeth. You know what I mean? Because everything they do to me was simple. So I think it was Wiley, though, was one of Bob Marley and the Wailers, one of Bob geniuses. He said, Soldier, you know the song? I said, no, I never play a pop music, only when the army band plays something. So anyway, I said, no, and I just kind of say, bridge wrong. And I think I just helped them out. And then I did my part, and I worked for like 5 minutes, and my pay was the same pay as my 2 weeks pay in the army. And I couldn't believe it. Anyway, they asked me to come back tomorrow, and then I get in trouble, because whenever the army looked for me now, I was in the studio everywhere. So I become a musician because I knew theory, I knew instruments, I could help. And I didn't know it was the top recording musicians in Jamaican reggae, in the world. It was a band named Now Generation Band with the greatest musician, if you look them up, serious, and producer. Jeffrey Chung, which was the leader, he died as a song he produced with Maxi Priest, go, just want to be close to you. He became number one in the US and he got sick and died. I I was assisting. They started to hire me even when I'm not working. They hire me to be there because I'm like this troubleshooter guy now. You know what I mean? Musically. And me not just says me, but okay, I know music. And reggae musicians don't really know music. They just play music. But I studied music. You know what I mean? I could just do anything. Turn the paper upside down. I read it anyway. You know what I mean? And say, guys, it's so, blah, 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 blah. And they say, okay, Clive say. And they trust me. So anyway, a friend of mine was in that band, the drummer, Michael Boo. He keep telling me, and Bunny Ruggs from Third World, we're par. And they tell me, say, I was doing a lot for the sessions, so I should try and produce a session. And I said, no, I'm not ready yet, because my original goal was to be an arranger, as I told you, a conductor, which is basically the same thing, but more musical. And they were saying, can I do a session? And I said, no, I'm not ready yet. You know what I mean? Anyway, Mikey actually took me one day and gave me money to produce a session and told me not to hire any of the guys in which I've ever worked with. He just wanted to prove to me that I could do something. So I went, I booked a Treasure Studio, Joe Creed. I produced a song, and some of the musicians quit on me right away because I was demanding some different approach. And the song ended up become a big hit. In fact, I'm so surprised. I didn't even have a song. I wrote it on the spot. A song named Milk and Honey. The song became big. In fact, I didn't even have a singer. And I just sing the melody myself, you know. And I was in another band, and I give the song, the artist, the band name, and the band blew up, you know what I'm saying? And it worked, and then people from overseas coming to me asking me for the song and do this and do that. So I became one of maybe the first in the history of reggae music. I became a producer for hire. So people say, hire me to produce. So most producers, almost every producer is people who spend their own money, or borrow money, beg money, produce a song, or beg musician, beg studio time. So it's actually, people start asking me now, and I am producing the Abyssinians.
There is a land far, far away, where there's no night, there's only day. Look into the book of life and you will see that there's a land far, far away.
I think young people or people in the creative industry should actually register their business, or we should register, because you still only make pennies, you know. And the more you're registered globally in the business, you know what I'm saying. But one of the first things is for everyone to know where for them to register themselves and to promote themselves, and to still find managers and agents that will represent you properly, and get lawyers who really know what they're doing. I wouldn't just want to be associated with entertainment business, because it is 99.9% Latin Jamaica. The lawyers don't know nothing about it. They don't know nothing about the business. They just want to say they are. Yeah, and they take your money and...
outside of that,
This is Weekend Business Report. Economic windfall,
unsecured loans,
alleged corruption,
follows the closure.
If they made this investment, brokers
strive to increase revenues.
These sought some answers.
Financial meltdown.
Here are the week's final. Here's Garth. News Roundup.
Camille, it's back to you.
That's Weekend Business Report with me, Keneal Gale, Saturdays and Sundays.
Have you seen it? It's BATV Live. Live streams of business news weekdays at 7:30 p.m. Stay on point Thursdays at 8 p.m. with our Business Current Affairs show, and Weekend Business Report Saturdays at 7:30 p.m. wherever you are. Log on to our Facebook page at Business Access TV or visit our website at batvja.com. Live and at your fingertips. Business Access TV, serious about business.
Having a corporate event, seminar, awards show, conference, product launch, workshop or expo? Business Access TV is here to showcase your event. Contact our sales department at 908-0919, 906-6357, or 908-2775 for more information. Business Access TV. Serious about business.
As a musician, all my life, I've been exposed to instruments, music. All the members of my immediate family play some instrument of some kind. My younger brother and I play the most instruments though. Starting kindergarten, big ups to Mrs. Longmore from Bel Air, who taught me all of that stuff. She honed my drumming skills especially, and just saw the talent and the love for the music. So Bel Air was where I really developed that first love, and at home as well. And then in high school, when I went to Manchester High School, straight into the school band from first form. And all through my high school years, I was always in the band, always around keyboards. Big ups to Manchester High School and all the teachers and my classmates and friends. They can tell you, always saw Nigel around a piano or a drum set, always. Honing your craft as an instrumentalist, well, understanding and learning about the instrument itself. 2, learning about your art form, the art form itself, and the art form as it relates and pertains to your culture. Because if you want to function in the industry, you have to be able to make music that people can relate to on a cultural level. Learning to play do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, good, no problem. But then you have to be able to apply it to your dancehall culture, your classical culture, your R&B culture, so that the persons who will end up buying your songs or participating or consuming your culture will relate and understand to it. Learning the business, music business, is also very important. You need to know that after you have the art form honed and you've made all these products that you want to sell to the consumer, we don't do that for artists as well. The artist that you like is because you can relate to the artist, and the songs have to match the lifestyle and the persona of the artist. So it's a whole lot of little intricate things that you have to pay attention to as an instrumentalist. You have to understand as well, especially how people dance. I don't think instrumentalists themselves do a lot of reading and research to understand how to achieve what they say they want to achieve. Well, everybody wants to get rich and drive a Benz and a range and have whatever they want to have, many houses, many cars, whatever it is. But the process, there's a process that has to happen. There's a way you enter into the industry, there's a way you function in the industry. And most of them are genuinely clueless. They don't know, no one has told them, they've never done the research. So I think that desire to play and create should be balanced with the desire to learn how to function in the marketplace that you're trying to market your song and develop as an instrumentalist. I don't think the persons around us in the industry, the stalwarts that are in the industry, share. It's very hard for the younger ones to have a conversation with the older ones and to get advice. A lot of them are reluctant to share, and a lot of them, they're never here for you to share. So I think there needs to be some kind of formal system where if it's even one person that you personally rate as a stalwart or as a veteran, to say, okay, I'm gonna take this person up in hand. I can't help everybody, but let me take up this promising kid as far as I'm concerned and help that. I think the bureaucratic system as well needs to facilitate the creative industries. Our culture, not even our music, but our culture is our oil.
If you love reggae and dancehall music, let me see your 2 hands.
It's our gold, it's our diamond, and we've never been able, or we've not paid enough attention and spent enough resources to hone it properly. And so we need to know that the musicians can get the instruments. There's a medium and a forum for all of these things to be learned and to be had, and to develop them. And then the access to the rest of the world is another thing, where we have so many good songs, great songs, nice songs, gimmick songs that are of international standard, but where is the medium that you're gonna use to get it out to the world? There are a lot of great things that are happening in Jamaica, but the channels to put them out, the road to put them out, it's literally non-existent. And our industry has really been built mostly on a hit or miss scenario, where somebody gets lucky or somebody made the right call at the right time. It's like being on a mango tree just at the time when the biggest mango falls and you're able to pick it up. It's not a system where, yes, we're gonna pick mangoes today and we're gonna get that one. It's nothing like that. We don't have all the proper players. We need more entertainment lawyers. We need more booking agents. We need booking agents that don't only receive the phone calls for the bookings, but they make phone calls and say, we're available to be booked. We need better songwriters, and not just songwriters as in lyricists. The same post-chorus, pre-chorus, bridge. Does my song start with a chorus? Does my song start with a verse? A lot of people don't even realize now that a lot of songs don't even have an introduction. They go straight into the song. You know what that achieves? That allows me to sing my chorus 5 times instead of 4 times. And when I sing my chorus 5 times instead of 4 times, and within that chorus it has a hook that says one word 16 times. I just sang one word 80 times. You must learn that song there. See what I'm saying? So we need to just pay attention and set up the thing properly so that we can present a product.
That's it this week for Cameo. Even in the midst of challenges, our creative industries continue to shine.
Every day you wake up, you have another opportunity to make this little island better, safer, a place where we all can be proud to call home. It's time we all recognize that every little thing we do has an impact on the Jamaica we live in now and the country we're leaving for our children. So promise me this, promise yourself this: no more will we tolerate criminals, even if it's our relatives. Tell them they're doing something wrong. Tell them to stop. Tell them no more robbing our children of the Jamaica they deserve. Tell them no more crime.